Hey everybody, welcome to the Happy Harvest Homestead. Picture this. You are a die-hard Happy Harvest Homestead fan. I know that's not hard to imagine because obviously everybody loves my YouTube channel so much. But you are such a crazy fan that my more moderate posting schedule has really pissed you off. You want to see a video posted every single day and not just once or twice a week like I'm doing right now. So you decide to somehow find out where I live and come visit the farm for yourself to see what's going on because I have not posted an update video in quite some time. The first thing you do when you come down the driveway is head straight to the rabbit colony. But as you get there, you realize you have no idea which rabbits are pregnant, which rabbits are moms. There's all these litters in here, but you don't know who belongs to who. So, in an effort to finally get that update you've been longing for, you break into our house and locate my coveted meat rabbit breeding log, where I list all of the does, all of the litters, all the notes about everything. Those are the master documents. You open the binder and begin flipping through. Everything matches up perfectly to the videos you have watched of me showing you this binder until you notice a discrepancy. There is a new mother doe record sheet with a name that you don't recognize. And when you flip to my more detailed notes journal, you find a very shocking story about the most recent litter we have had born on our farm. Okay, now everybody, open your eyes, take a deep breath. Remove yourself from the fictitious situation I have just described for you. You are a real person. You are at your own house. You have no desire to do any of those things in real life. I know that was a very elaborate and odd way of announcing that we have another weird rabbit story to tell you today, but I had such fun making it. Oh my gosh. Okay, we have a new first-time mom who gave birth in very strange circumstances. You have been introduced to Maria before. You've known her for about 5 months. She was one of the kits born in the very first litter of the 2023 breeding season. Acrobat gave birth to her and her siblings on January 30th of this year. And I have documented her eyes opening and then her coming out of the nest box and weighing her and seeing her grow bigger and bigger. Maria, along with her 3 sisters, have been chosen by myself to reach adulthood and breed and give birth and raise future meat babies for us instead of becoming meat themselves. And a couple days ago, when I was checking on Acrobat's newborn litter, which I thought would be the last litter of this breeding season, I found Maria in the nest box. And at first I thought she was just trying to get away from the heat, be in the shade of the nest box. And I told her, "You're not supposed to be in here, get out." So I kind of nudged her, trying to make her jump out of there. But she was a very stubborn girl and didn't move, which now I'm really glad about. And I was like, "Why aren't you moving?" Because usually when they get a gentle nudge, they just hop out and it's fine. But as I was looking at her, I noticed a little wiggly something in between her back legs. But she's only 5 months old, and it's the beginning of June, and the weather has been hot throughout most of May, and it's the middle of the afternoon, so there's no way she could be giving birth, right? But just in case, I decided to count the babies in the nest box, just to make sure. So I counted, and there was the 9 usual, and then I found another one, 10, 11, 12. There were definitely a couple more babies than were supposed to be in that nest box. So at this point, I'm freaking out because I was not expecting any of these girls to be pregnant, let alone giving birth this breeding year. I fully expected to have their first babies be born, maybe October, November, which would be next breeding season. But Maria was giving birth right now. So I quickly closed the nest box lid, left her alone. I don't want to disturb a first-time mom. It's not a good idea to disturb any rabbit giving birth, but a first-time mother especially needs her own space. So I left as quickly as possible, hoping I hadn't caused any damage. Then I gave her a couple hours to give birth and settle down for a while, and when I came back a couple hours later, I counted 16 babies in that nest box. 1 was stillborn, so I took it out, but there are now 15 alive and healthy babies in this nest box, which, for the most part, is awesome. Unlike many first-time mothers, Maria gave birth to live babies in a nest box, and she pulled fur, and so far she is nursing them. She had a good-sized litter, 7 babies in total, and only one was dead, and that was a stillborn one. She didn't abandon her babies. She didn't eat her babies. She didn't give birth prematurely. For the most part, I am so happy and glad. The only problem is she chose the wrong nest box to give birth in, because there are already babies in this nest box, and they're already a large litter. 9 is pretty big, and there can be quite a few problems with having 15 babies all in the same box from different moms, especially because it is so hot outside. For one thing, baby rabbits need to spread out during the heat of the day, and they need enough room to do that. So I took out a whole bunch of that fur because Acrobat gave birth right after her other litter exited the nest box. So there was already a leftover fur from that. Then she gave birth to a new litter and pulled a lot of fur for that. And then Maria pulled fur for her baby, so there's like 3 times the amount of fur that should be there. So I took out a whole bunch of that, and I'm saving it for future litters who don't have enough. But there's really nothing more I can do. Right now, it's pretty okay because they're all newborn size. They're all very small. So I'm trying extra hard to, spread them out. Whenever I'll check on them, I don't put them all in a pile to stay warm. I put like a 3 in one corner and 3 in the other corner, and then a couple in the middle, and so that they don't overheat, because all that body heat, if they're piled together, will warm them up too much. But as they get bigger, 1 week old or 2 weeks old, they're going to have less and less room to spread out. And the likelihood of getting heat stroke from being too crammed together and all the body heat killing them is more and more likely. So that's a scary prospect. And then also we have the huge worry of 2 rabbits sharing a nest box, which one of those moms didn't choose to share. She just had more babies plopped in there one day. And so that whole dynamic is going to have to be worked out. And thankfully, all the does in the colony have a good relationship with each other. And there's not an Elodie or a Constance who's a mean herd queen. But the whole dynamic of who's going to nurse the babies, and are you going to get mad that my babies are in here and you're going to kill my babies, or are you going to throw a fit and kill all the babies, or am I not going to nurse because you're nursing them but then you don't have enough milk and they're going to starve that way? So I don't know how they figure it out, but that is very worrisome to me. I have had, I believe, just one other experience with 2 does sharing a nest box, and this is kind of adorable and heartwarming. It was Rinna, one of our old does, and Henwin, who is Maria's grandma and Acrobat's mother. So Henwin's first litter was shared with another doe, and now her granddaughter's first litter is shared. So it's kind of adorable, but kind of really frustrating too. And then to make things even worse, one of the does sharing a nest box is a first-time mom. So I don't know how her milk supply is going to be. I don't know how her mothering instinct is. So far, she seems to be doing okay. Whenever I come check on the babies, she'll poke her head in and, "Are you hurting these babies? Are you being nice?" And I'm like, "It's okay, I'm being nice." And she's like, "Okay," and she'll leave. But she's a very attentive mother. But it's only been a couple days since she's given birth. So I don't know how this is going to go from here. And then the fifth, I don't know, another terrible thing is that as I was perusing my breeding log, I was realizing that Acrobat's older babies are only 3 weeks old, and does can only have babies 1 month apart. So these babies are a week too close together. So I don't know if Acrobat, got pregnant a second time and was carrying 2 litters at once, which would be insane and very unlikely. But more likely and more scary to me is that maybe her other daughter, Antoinette or Annie, gave birth and it wasn't Acrobat in the first place. For a long time, Acrobat has been the only black rabbit in the colony, so every time I see a nest with black fur in it, I know it's Acrobat's nest because she's the only one with that color fur. So a couple days ago when I found this first litter, I was like, oh, it's Acrobat, because I thought all her daughters were still too young to breed and weren't pregnant. But I guess Annie could have given birth, and then her sister decided to share her nest box, which in a lot of ways would be even worse, because instead of having an experienced mom and a first-time mom, we now have 2 first-time moms sharing a nest box, and that could go just terribly, terribly wrong. And the worst part is, I can't even tell that they have given birth. With other does, I can often tell because their bellies will go from really big to all of a sudden really skinny, or poor Acrobat hasn't recovered from the last time she for sure had babies, but they will pull so much fur from their bodies that they have bald patches everywhere. She looks so rough right now because her fur is growing in still. But all the young does look perfectly normal. Their bellies aren't big. They don't have missing fur. Even when I stare super closely at her, I can't tell Maria has given birth at all. And it's been a couple days since Antoinette has possibly had babies, so I can't, check for blood on her bottom or anything. So unless she all of a sudden becomes super interested in the babies and is like mothering them, or I see her nursing them, or she's checking up on me, making sure I'm not hurting them, then I'll have no idea who had these babies till like the end of time. I guess my only hope is that Acrobat will give birth in a week, proving that she wasn't already pregnant. But then, I don't know, sometimes rabbits can have 2 litters at once, which one time that happened to Lolo, one of our old does. But when that happened to her, she had very small litters and one of them was stillborn or something. So the chances that Acrobat was pregnant with 8 babies and then got pregnant with 9 babies a couple weeks later and carried both pregnancies successfully and all the babies were alive is extremely, extremely rare. So it might just be Antoinette, which, now we have all these little lives that these rabbits may completely bungle, and there's nothing I can do to, help them. I mean, if one doe messes up, then the entire litter is screwed. It's not like one rabbit is in charge of her babies. One rabbit is in charge of 2 litters, so that's like double the babies. There are 15 little lives that if one of these very inexperienced first-time does messes up even a little bit, they could be catastrophic to them. So I have a lot of anxiety about this. So, I'm gonna keep filming about this as things happen or don't happen. Thankfully, I have experienced this before with Rinna and Henwin, so I kind of know what to expect and what to do. But when they did it, it was winter, and this time it is summer, which just adds another complication. So at this point, the chance of all 15 babies surviving is, I would say, 0. Hopefully some of them continue to live. I guess I should be so ecstatic that both of these does are having good first litters so far. Sharing a nest will add one more element of difficulty. But if their grandma Henwin successfully raised Acrobat in a shared litter, then maybe her granddaughters can do it too. Thanks for watching.